Well, is there a storm out there? I'm getting a good nap in on that cushion. Friends, this Sunday we hear in the gospel reading Jesus calming the storm on the sea, and it reveals so much to us about God and His power, but also not only God the Father, but Jesus as well. So throughout the Old Testament, we hear in many places the way that God is revealed to His people is really that He has power over the sea, power over the storms. You know, that's a really kind of the all-powerful characteristic of God. You know, that's how it's demonstrated, is His power over the sea. And in the book of Job, you know, God speaks to Job from the whirlwind, right? From the midst of the storm, you know, God speaks to him. It's from the storm that God speaks. But as well, he also describes, His bringing forth the waters of the sea into the world. He talks about shutting up the waters of the sea as well. He has power over the storm, power over the seas. Well, so Psalm 107 as well, you know, describes this situation. If you go through the whole of the psalm, you know, you'll see this description of sailors on the sea, the stormy wind and waves, you know, the fact that the sailors' courage melts away, and they cry out to the Lord in their distress, and He brings about, the calming of the seas. Well, here as Jesus shows up on the scene with His disciples, you know, and He's being revealed as, you know, God's only begotten Son, you know, you have a very similar pattern of occurrences here. You know, it's not sailors on the sea, but it's the disciples on the sea. You have wind and waves popping up. You have disciples who are afraid of what's going on, and they cry out to the Lord, and Jesus calms the sea. So like the biggest thing that's happening in this story is that Jesus is being revealed as the Lord. He is equal with God the Father, and the disciples come to really witness His power and come to believe in Him in a deeper way. But I think there's something too, you know, as the disciples are experiencing the storm and they're afraid in that moment, they instinctively, you know, call out to the Lord in their midst. They may not have even totally realized what Jesus was capable of, but in their distress, they called to Him. And, I guess just taking this a step deeper, even not just on a personal level, you know, the cry of their heart is so anguished, isn't it? You know, Lord, do you not care that we are perishing? Holy smokes, you know, like just the ache of the heart to know that God cares for us. You know, I know there's plenty of situations in our lives that, you know, that same sort of call to the Lord is there. Lord, do you not care that we're perishing in whatever situation that we're in? But Jesus responds with the calming of the storm and proves His fidelity in the midst of that. And you know, I think sometimes, you know, we suffer terrible things in our lives, but I don't know that we always understand what exactly the storm actually is. Sometimes it's not even the events themselves, but all that comes with it. And the reality is, no matter what is going on in our lives, Jesus does have the power and gives to us the peace that only He can bring. He really can and does calm the storms in our lives when we call out to Him. So here this weekend, you know, we hear so much of, God's power, Jesus having equal power with God the Father, and as well the invitation to cry out to Him in our own distress when we're experiencing the storms of life, and allow Him to speak His peace and control over the storms that we experience.